Hey YouTube, Inder here. I feel there's a need to address the current state of Pokemon Unite, as we are coming into another extremely disappointing update to the game. To start, Unite surpassed 100 million downloads at the end of 2022, which is an incredible feat in such a short amount of time. The direction of Pokemon Unite has been questionable at times, but most Unite players have been able to put that aside for the game's promising gameplay loop and the potential of what this game can be. But right now, the frustration levels seem to be rising within the community due to recent changes or lack of changes regarding the balance of Pokemon Unite. Most notably, the Zacian release. A Pokemon that has plagued players through the multiverse of Pokemon content, whether it's the mainline games or the trading card game. This character has wreaked havoc across the Pokemon series for several years, and Unite is no exception. On release and to this date, this Pokemon outstats all its counterparts in every component, whether it be offense, defense, mobility, to the point where this character is so strong, tournament organizers of the official circuit have deemed this Pokemon too overpowered for tournament play. Not only is this unique to Unite, but to my knowledge, this is unique to esports in general. In my 10 plus years of playing competitive games and being surrounded with competitive games, I have never seen a game developer release a character so strong that their own first party esports deemed the character too powerful for tournament play. What this means is that for 99% of the player base, they have to deal with the character in their games, whether you solo queue, duo, trio, or 5-stack. You have to expect to see this Pokemon frequently, and it being favored to win most of your games. That's not the only thing upsetting Unite players right now, though. The latest patch on May 10th, we were expecting several nerfs to problematic characters. Obviously, Zacian being one, but we were expecting nerfs to things like Comfey, Lapras, Espeon, or Shifu. So many of these characters that have been so strong for so long now. While we did see nerfs to Comfey, Lapras, and Espeon, kudos to them for making that change. Urshifu and Zacian both magically dodged any balance update. Whether there's some level of corporate greed or incompetence, or the simple fact that these Pokemon are legendaries, it's disappointing as both a competitive tournament player and a ranked mode enjoyer to see these characters run rampant in my games. Now, if the lack of nerfs wasn't enough, there's still so much more to go. Tournament play has seen characters banned for many reasons. Like I mentioned, Zacian was banned and is still banned for how strong it is. But we've had plenty of characters this season be banned simply for bugged movesets or just bugged kits overall. The year started with Scyther being bugged, which is an already really strong character and had the ability to reset its moves more than intended. All while it was allowed in ranked gameplay, it was banned from tournament play. Other than that, we've seen Cramorant, Blastoise, Clefable, Delphox, Sableye, Glaceon all have moveset bans or complete bans due to bugs with their gameplay mechanics. Glaceon in particular was recently bugged, making Icicle Spear do additional damage to wild Pokemon, which resulted in it being banned from tournament play. The most recent patch on May 10th did 3 things for this character, none of which are things people are happy about. 1. It improved the Icicle Spear moveset by giving it more damage and buffing Ice Shard, which is a common move seen paired with it. Number 2, the bug was not fixed, and we now know that this Pokemon deals basically double damage to all wild Pokemon throughout the entire game. That means Rayquaza, all the jungle buffs, all the wild Pokemon in every path, it's doing double the damage than it should be. And number 3, despite it being bugged and despite it doing even more damage now, the character was unbanned from tournament play. It might get rebanned, we're not really entirely sure, but these changes make no sense. Especially the buffs, considering the moveset saw play in the biggest European tournament by the winners of the tournament, the EOS Cup European champions, and right afterwards, shortly after, it was banned because of the bug. And what we were expecting was a bug fix, as we should, maybe a nerf, but probably no changes to the character, and somehow what we got was so much worse. I could go on and on about bugs. Like I said, so many different characters have been bugged this year alone and prevented from tournament play, but allowed in ranked play, which is the crux of this issue. But I'll end off this segment with a Cramorant bug that has yet to be fixed. Thankfully, it's still banned from tournament play, but Cramorant is able to reliably double the damage from its passive by using its boosted attack at the same time it takes damage, triggering 2 fishes as opposed to 1, essentially doubling its damage yet again. This bug at times can be coupled with another bug that allows these fishes to infinitely bounce between 2 targets and instantly take them down. The next and most disappointing change for me comes as a Unite player who loves taking advantage of gameplay mechanics to draw an edge over my opponents. A few months ago, we lost the ability to quick jump, which as a reminder allowed you to take the base jump pad faster than intended by inputting a movement action and pre-selecting your destination. While this change was a bit more controversial as it is easier to do on Switch than mobile, players who were able to consistently pull it off felt rewarded in their gameplay, and it is still a change that I, along with other players, deeply miss. I do understand the reason for the change. If mobile players aren't able to do it, having a platform have a simple gameplay advantage is not fair. I would have liked to see them kind of implement this into the game, or at least buff the jump speed of those jump pads across both platforms to kind of compensate for this change. Regardless, the most recent change applies to all platforms equally and is centered around vision in Pokemon Unite. Before the most recent patch, if a player was standing on one of their goal zones, a dome would light up, indicating they're receiving a shield. This dome was visible to enemy players globally and was used to help scout defenses, look for backcaps, and overall gain more information if the effort was put in. As a result, players would be sneaky and intentionally hide in bushes or away from their goal zones, anticipating their opponents being privy to that knowledge. It really rewarded players who wanted to go above and beyond, and it was a mechanic that you couldn't always take advantage of. In the heat of a team fight, when you're focused on your character's abilities, it's difficult to pan over to an enemy goal zone to see if an enemy is coming from that pad or which angle they're taking. So it really rewarded players who were able to do more during a game, and it rewarded players who were just simply privy to this knowledge, which is pretty standard across games of this genre. But now this mechanic has been removed. It's been replaced with the dome only being visible to your opponents if you're within physical range of it, a change that I don't think many people are very happy with. Similarly, players used to be able to pan their camera to the enemy jump pad in their home base to see when it was being activated. Since the removal of quick jump, this has been a very important tool to understand when your opponent is taking the jump pad. The jump pad is slow enough that if you see it being activated, you have enough time to stop your cap and not get stunned by an opponent player jumping on top of you. In addition, you could use this information to know when someone's left their base, if they've jumped mid, if they're going to the top side. You could couple this with the other change with the domes to see which lane or which path they jumped to. And it provided more information simply to allow for more skill expression within the game. This mechanic has also been removed. The direction of Pokemon Unite is disappointing. As a competitive player, I want there to be skill expression in the game. I want to be able to achieve towards being great, and I want to help inspire another generation of players who look to expand their gameplay and their game knowledge. But with every patch, it's becoming increasingly frustrating to live up to this dream. Whether it's just picking the best character of the patch, abusing damage bugs, or the removal of gameplay mechanics, or in the most recent case, all of the above, players are not happy with the direction of this game. I know there's a lot to talk about, whether it's matchmaking or ladder, quality of life, but these are the things that impact the core gameplay loop the most, which has been the one promising thing of Pokemon Unite. I'm closing this video off in hopes that it's not too late for Pokemon Unite, the developers and the publishers of this game, to see the error in their ways, to provide them with some feedback, and to hopefully revert some of the recent changes and to address the issues we are collectively grieving over. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.